Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, my question to all my colleagues today as I stand before this body is, if we could present a humanitarian disaster, would we? Should we? Right now, Somalia may be on the brink of a preventable humanitarian disaster. My district happens to be home to one of the largest Somali American communities in the world, and is certainly the largest in the northern Western Hemisphere. And so my constituents have come to me and have explained in very detailed and moving ways that it is time for us to figure out this problem that we have in the United States with helping people remit money that they have earned to their loved ones in the Horn of Africa. Somali Americans in my district are proud of the progress Somalia has made, as I am and many people around the world are. This is a nation that for over 2 decades had civil war, but now has a president, a legislature, and is planning for elections in 2016. This country is fighting off Al-Shabaab, a terrorist organization in league with Al-Qaeda, and this nation has successfully fought off all famine and want of many kinds. And now they're on another kind of problem, and this problem has to do with remittances and the ability of Somali Americans to send money to their loved ones. It's important to understand that the progress they have made is fragile, and we in the United States don't need to worry about sending money there right now, although we should and we have and we are. We need to just get out of the way to allow Somali Americans to send money to their own loved ones, and our financial system is inhibiting that. Every year, Somali Americans send about $215 million to Somalia, a figure comparable to the entire U.S. aid package, which is approximately about $200 million a year. Individual Somali Americans send more money than the whole government of the United States sends there. And that vital pipeline is life-saving money that is shut off now as we speak. The bank that provided 60% of the remittances or funds sent to Somalia closed accounts of businesses that transfer money from the U.S. to Somalia. And this is catastrophic. Now Somali Americans cannot send money to their loved ones, and Somalis can no longer receive money that they depend on for food, for school fees, for medical bills. Many of the financial institutions in the United States have chose to avoid serving service businesses that send money to vulnerable nations like Somalia due to concern that the money could find its way into bank accounts of unsavory money launderers. So the goal of the U.S. financial regulator is good. We want to keep money from the money launderers and the terrorists, but do we arrive at a point where our regulation is so tight that even the legitimate money that we want to flow is being cut off? I'm calling on our government to get together. Treasury, the Office of Comptroller of Currency, the State Department, and have a real conversation how we can stop the bad money, but also let the good money flow. As I said, Somalia depends upon this money. It is a very fragile state. It is emerging from being a failed state. And if they cut the remittances off, we will see catastrophic results. And one of those catastrophic results will be an opening to groups like Al-Shabaab, a terrorist group who argues that the United States and the West generally doesn't want to help Somalia. We need to stop them from using that recruiting message by figuring out how we can achieve our goals of stopping bad money from flowing and allow good money to flow. For years, I've been asking for agencies to work with me to prevent this foreseeable tragedy. We need to be creative about finding a solution. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York could use its wire service to process transfers to East Africa. That's a possibility. We could follow the example of the United Kingdom and set up a safe corridors program for banks to safely transfer money while managing risk. We could provide proactive training and assistance for banks that want to serve East African communities. And there's no shortage of ideas, but I urge our government to sit down at a table and figure out a way to stop the money launderers and the bad money from flowing, but to certainly allow legitimate remittances to flow. We could prevent a catastrophe if we do. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. The chair now recognizes the gentleman from Hawaii, Mr. Takai, for 5 minutes.
Aloha, Mr. Speaker. On February 27th, the Department of Homeland Security will run out of money. 17 more days. If this is not resolved at